Good morning. Grab your cup. If you didn't catch this conversation, I've done it before a while back. I want to do it again because I think it's really important to understand the difference. I want to talk about the difference between stress, when you're just having stress, and trauma. So when you're having stress, that would be like you're doing a project around your house or a project at work. There's something that's, placing extra demands on you, and you've got to match those demands. So that would be like you're going on a trip and you're in the airport and the handle on your luggage breaks. And so you have to pick up your luggage and carry it like on your head. You'd have to carry it like this until you get to the airport, till you get to the line where you can put it down. So the whole time, like the length of your project is, holding that up, and your muscles are getting tired and you're breathing heavy, and your heart rate's up to get yourself and your luggage there on time, and it's a lot heavier this way. But when you get there, you take your luggage down and you roll out your head, and you maybe do a massage for your muscles, and your heart rate comes down, and by the time you get on the plane, you're like, oof, that was rough, but here we go, we're on vacation and I'm relaxed again. That's stress, right? So it's a output for a certain amount of time, but then you get to go back to a resting state and you get to allow your body to recover. Trauma is very different. Trauma is when something happens and you never let your body go back to rest. So that would be like you're in the airport and your handle breaks and you pick up your luggage and you're carrying it, but you never get to the place where you can put it down. The line never ends, or you just have to keep walking, and you're holding that up not only for that day, but for weeks and months and years. And what happens is, over time, as you're holding that, now, not only do you have tight muscles and you're breathing hard, but your body starts to change. Your spine is going to start to, you're going to start to walk like this, and you're going to start to have like a hump in your shoulders. And there's going to be times where you can't talk because you're breathing so hard. That's the effect of trauma. It changes your body. Your body actually adapts to holding that luggage, but it really maladapts. So adaptation, but in a negative way, in a way to accommodate the burden of holding that, but it's a way that changes how your body can function. Like you can never really run because you're holding that thing. Sometimes you can't have long conversations because you're holding that thing, and your body is twisted now after 40 years of holding that thing. That's what happens when you've had trauma in the past that's never been released from your body. So it may be that you've done a lot of work on the thinking about it. It may be that you have, gone to therapy or made amends with someone or put the luggage down, but your body is still twisted. You still have structural differences. You still think differently because of that trauma. So that's really the difference between stress and trauma, and I hope it shows you why doing those additional steps to actually get yourself back to where you want to be. Those additional steps are releasing the emotions that got generated back when the trauma happened. So whether it was a significant one-time trauma or whether it was ongoing trauma, like growing up in an alcoholic household or in a divorce situation and there was a lot of stress over and over when you were little, whatever it was, the impact of that generated emotions. Those emotions are in your body. It also changes the way that you think. The way that you think and see the world, the way you see yourself, the way you see your world, got totally developed by having to hold that baggage. So even though you put the baggage down, the thinking and the perspective of yourself hasn't changed unless you do that part of it too. So it's not just putting the baggage down. That's actually probably the least of it. All right. So if you feel like you're holding that in your body, and here's how you know, here's some outcomes that you can know. Chronic health issues, because your body does change, your nervous system changes to accommodate that trauma. So, chronic health issues, gut issues, autoimmune conditions, chronic pain, all of those are signs of a nervous system that has stayed stuck holding a burden. It's become a subconscious burden, but it's a burden nevertheless. A nervous system that can't go back to functioning normally. If you have relationship issues, there's walls up, there's not great communication in your relationships, or you find that you end up with people who, you know, don't share, aren't emotionally available, have some narcissistic tendencies. Those are people that it's easy to get into a relationship with because you're so busy holding the burden of your luggage that just is easy because you got so much focused on the luggage. That feels like right. That feels like this is the relationship for me. And then you find out afterwards, no, this isn't what I want. If you're stuck with success in your life, like you want to accomplish things, but there's always a block, there's something there. That comes from the change in the way that you think about yourself. It may look like it's the circumstances outside just never work out, but it's really about you and how you interact with the world, which all got developed when you had to pick up that burden and carry it. So trauma impacts everything. Stress we all have, but when we get to go back to normal, that's part of life. Trauma, a lot of us have had, and we don't get to go back to normal unless we do what it takes to do that. So you can look at that and you can have a great day.